Volkswagen have shut their first major car plant in China after 17 years. The crazy thing is, this is the first one they've shut in China, but there is another 3 factories they are actually considering closing down. There's only one reason for this closure of this factory, and it's pretty shocking when you consider the fact that this factory is 50% owned by the Chinese government. Not the Chinese government, but Chinese state government. It shows you that they have to be in dire straits. It has to be at the point where this car manufacturer, they're selling so few cars. In fact, this division of Volkswagen is selling so few cars, they have no other choice. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. Great to have you with us. While global car makers are scrambling to realign their operations, Nissan is shutting 7 of 17 factories. There's multiple car manufacturers that have shut. Honda have shut factories around the world. Volkswagen have shut down, are going to sell off some of their factories in Germany, apparently to Chinese brands, but they're also pulling the plug on one of their major Chinese car plants. After cutting a deal with Germany's IG Metall union last year to keep some domestic car plants running, but at really low production numbers, the company has now confirmed it's shutting down a long-time joint venture site in Nanjing. The facility that's run with its joint venture partner, SAIC Motors, which is primarily owned by the state government in China, has been cranking out cars for 17 years, and it can make around 360,000 vehicles a year. That's quite a lot. So this is a big factory. News of the closure first emerged from a German newspaper. That was about 3 days ago. Not long after, Volkswagen have confirmed that this is accurate. They didn't specify when the closure will take place, but they have said, yes, it is true. And it'll be shut down during probably within the next 4 to 5 months. We can confirm that SVW Nanjing plant has ended production, Volkswagen confirmed in a statement to Reuters. Many SAIC Volkswagen sites are currently being converted or have already been converted for electric vehicle production. Direct quote. I'm going to repeat that. Many SAIC Volkswagen sites are being converted or have already been converted for electric vehicle production. That tells you all you need to know. Basically, Volkswagen saying, at this point in time, 54% of all cars being sold in China, which is where we make more money than anywhere else in the world. In fact, 50% of Volkswagen Group's profits come from China historically. 50%. They're saying the Chinese don't want internal combustion cars. That's why our car sales are tanking in China. And therefore, we have to convert all of our factories to making EVs. That is very, very expensive to do that. New production lines, new cars, new everything, right? This is a big challenge. It's going to cost the Volkswagen Group a lot of money. But at least they are recognizing the future of the automotive industry is not internal combustion. But the irony of all of this is Volkswagen, right? They come out and say many SAIC Volkswagen sites are being converted or have already been converted for electric vehicle production. And then a week before that, they said, we are going to spend $800 million on new engines, creating new engines. Now, Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, he said, the engine's dead. No one cares anymore. No, there's just literally the public couldn't care less about whether or not there's a new engine that's 1% more efficient than the previous version. They don't notice any difference. How much difference is there with an engine you buy today from any car manufacturer versus one from 5 years ago? No one knows the difference. And yet General Motors and Volkswagen are both doing the same thing. Ford's executives are like, what? This is batshit crazy. Why invest all this money? You've got $200 billion of debt. And you go and do this. This is wild. The future of the factory has been hanging in the balance for quite some time, though. Apparently, last September, it was revealed that it would close this year due to the declining local sales of combustion-powered vehicles. It has been handling the production of the Volkswagen Passat and several Skoda models at the time. Now, the Volkswagen Passat, for the last 10 years, has been one of the most popular cars in the world. But more specifically, because of its sales in China. That's why. The Passat was at one point the best-selling car in China. Now, the factory is being shut that makes it. Volkswagen employs more than 90,000 people in China and operates, a lot of factories. But the utilization rates of most of their factories have fallen enormously since COVID-19. It's understood that total utilization at its factories with its joint venture partner SAIC was operating at just 58% 58%. Here's the thing. Automotive industry experts say that if you've got a factory running below 70% capacity, you're making a loss on that factory. So all of its factories all across China are running at only 58%. And if Volkswagen Group sales continue to fall, their capacity utilization will continue to drop, making them really inefficient. The statement released by Volkswagen noted that some of its plants with SAIC have already been converted to support EV production, but yeah, it didn't say much else. Didn't say what the Volkswagen Group are going to do to save their bacon. Now, I should point out Volkswagen Group's EV sales actually, or Volkswagen branded EV sales, are actually gone up by 47% this year. It shows you that in spite of all the media rhetoric about EV sales collapsing, I've seen heaps of articles within the last 24 hours claiming that's the case. The truth is completely opposite to that. In fact, this year, electric car sales have gone up outside of North America by 30% worldwide. If you include North America, they're up by 25%. Thanks for watching. Volkswagen, even though its electric car sales have grown by 50% this year, says its actual order base has reduced significantly. It's, of course, shut down some of its electric car production. Here's what the company said has happened to their orders this year. Hello, my friends. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to all the new subscribers. Volkswagen released its third quarter 2023 results. I just reported on those. If you want to see those, I'll put a link in the description to my video about Volkswagen Group's results. But its profits are at the lowest point that they've been in more than 10 years, profits per car sold. And obviously a key part of that reason is it's making a loss on every electric car that it sells. Volkswagen's CFO said that EV orders are down by 50% in Europe, and their order intake has fallen short. They say this is because of a slowdown in the overall market. Now, to keep in mind the context of this, Volkswagen Group are saying they've paused EV production because the order books have fallen for EVs. But this does raise a question here. We have to ask the question, was the Volkswagen Group telling us the truth? Were they telling us the truth when they said that they had a year and a half worth of orders 6 months ago? That's what Volkswagen Group said. They said demand is not a problem. We have a year to a year and a half of orders. It seems as though possibly either people have cancelled their orders because they don't want to wait for them, or Volkswagen as a group was maybe exaggerating a little bit the number of orders they actually had. This is the kind of information that I think the SEC needs to investigate. The SEC is allowing car companies to pretty much publish and say anything, particularly car companies like Nissan and Toyota who have claimed they have solid state batteries but are not willing to show the media